Everybody's going to be here by 9 o'clock, but right now we're here. Let's see if y'all can hear me and see me, and we'll go from there. Okay, there's my computer, so I can see me. Let's see if you guys can hear me and see me. And Finley with a 5x5, Amish at Heart, Grandma Prepper, Jacob, George's Garden, Aquadrop, Old Man, Lucky Dame. Okay, good deal. You guys can hear me. Good evening, gang. Happy Tuesday. Hope you all had a productive day. I actually walked away for a little bit this afternoon. Went out and picked some onions, picked some beets, picked some peppers, picked some potatoes, and had a productive day. Because it was about the only thing I could do to keep from killing somebody. I'm going to bring this up, and if y'all leave, bye. I really don't care. My patience is gone for people that are being assholes in the comment section, emails, in here, whatever. Moderators, you have now been given free rein to ban anybody you damn well please. Okay? Just so you know that. If you got a question, boot them. Don't care. I did a video today at lunch explaining what was going on, explaining to people that we need to stand up, explaining what happened with the post office. There are a few comments in there about, well, gee, maybe the package was too thick. Gee, maybe I could put some words in Pinball's mouth saying that people were stealing packages. First off, I'm not a dumbass. I took the packages back to the post office, and she put them right through the template and said, these aren't anywhere close to too thick. Second off, I never said anything about the post office employees stealing packages. My point of the whole thing was that when something's done wrong, you go say something about it. The reason I did, went back to the post office and showed them the mail and said, this is what's going on. But some people who watch the videos, don't ask me why they watch my videos. I have no idea. Are too damn stupid to listen, and they'd rather think I said what they wanted to hear me say. Okay? Those people aren't with us anymore. I had somebody yesterday, after you can imagine, Mrs. P and I, between Saturday and then yesterday, putting in a 14-hour day each day, well, 16 on Saturday, paying attention to what was going on and giving you guys the stories that the mainstream media, the network media, the cable media, the newspapers are too fucking lazy to do the work for. So I took it upon myself to try to tell people what was going on. Some see you next Tuesday, if you know what the acronym is for, decided to come up and say, he was wrong, as usual. Right there, bitch. Okay? There's my answer to that one. I'm done. I've lost my patience. I've said in here many times that disagreement is fine. I have no problem with disagreement. If you want to be a four-letter word, goodbye. Simple as that. I don't care. People are like, oh, you'll lose subscribers. I don't care, okay? There are certain people in this world who are preparing for what is coming. The ones who want to be trolls, the ones who want to be assholes, the ones who want to be bitches on steroids can pound sand. I don't give a flying fuck. I apologize for my language. You guys have only seen me pissed off a couple of times on this channel. There were a lot of people that pissed me off today. I'm not going to go over this again. I'm just going to delete these people for good. What I find absolutely hilarious is there's certain trolls out here who watch my videos anyway, as much as they say, I'm wrong all the time. I'm not right all the time. Never said I was. I was the one that said I didn't think Russia was going to go into Ukraine. But again, they missed the one word. I didn't think Russia was going into Ukraine. I don't have a red phone here that Vladimir Putin calls me and tells me what he's doing. I use logic. I use reason. I use research. Some things that most people in this country are too flippin' lazy to do on their own. So they just rather go out and play Monday morning quarterback and go, you were wrong. I don't have a freaking crystal ball. I'll tell you what's going on as it's going on as fast as I can. If you think you can do it better, go create your own channel. But get the hell off mine. If you have a problem with what I just said, that little X in the upper right-hand corner, you can exercise your ability to use it right now. If you want to hear the truth, if you want to hear my opinions on things, if you want to be the benefit of the research I do, if you like some of the information I give you, you are more than welcome to stay. I'll give you guys 10 seconds to figure out what side of the fence you're on. For those of you that are still here, thank you. For those of you that left, fuck you. Okay. Grandma Prepper, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. And there was one more that came, I think it was Sean Penrod at the very beginning, just before we went live. Thank you as well. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear that, but it had to be said because I've had it with trolls, okay? I'd be more than happy to line them up in my front yard and go plinking with them. Not with them sitting next to me, with them being my targets. I have no problem with it. I will call out any asshole in there. I won't call out channels for a simple reason of this. There are a few out there that are complete pricks. Okay, there's one guy in particular who is such a coward he refuses to show his face to the computer. No, that's not Prepper Now. Prepper Now is a friend of mine. Okay, there's another one out there. He's got about 12 views on his videos, but he loves to come after me sometimes. Can't do it on my channel anymore, so he tries to post something on his community board. Oh, great. He gets one comment, because nobody watches him because the guy's a dickweed, soy boy, pansy, Karen. Okay. I don't have time for Karens. I deal with real men, XY chromosomes, and real women, XX chromosomes. Okay. If you haven't figured that part out, again, that big X in the corner, perfect. All right, let's get into tonight. That's what you get out of me tonight. Bet you didn't expect that. Guys, if you're new here, sorry, if you're still here and you're new here, I'm surprised. But I'm going to go over this real quick. On Tuesdays and Saturday nights, Tuesdays at 8, Saturdays at 9, we do Q&A for you guys. Okay, your chance to ask me, ask each other questions. If you have questions for me, guys, please put it in all caps. It makes it a lot easier for me to see what's going on. Please pay attention to the chat, though, when you ask a question, because a lot of times somebody else will have an answer in here where I won't. Okay, I can't tell you how to milk a goat. Never done it. Okay, I don't have all the answers. The other thing is, as hard as I try, I can't get to all the questions in the hour. Sometimes you guys ask so many, I get through half. Sometimes I get through a lot. It all depends. Okay. I'm going to go the rules this way. What I demand, there's no longer a request, demand. If you're an ass, GTFO right now. Engage brain before putting mouth in gear. If you want to say something shitty, the moderators now have free reign to toss anybody they want. They do not need to sit there and clear it with me. There are no second chances. That's it. You do something that pisses them off, you're done. And I'll tell you what, most of my mods aren't as patient as I am. So Word of the wise. Be careful. All right, go through this a little bit. Lynn, thank you for the super chat. Says, thank you for pushing through the trolls and attention seekers. I've learned so much from you and Mrs. P this week. I appreciate that. Okay. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate comments like that. We put a hell of a lot of work into what we try to find. Reading things, researching things, translating things, going all over the world, trying to talk to people. Yeah. A lot of the stuff I find, you're not going to find unless you know some of the people that I know. Okay. Just saying. Florida Boy Shuffle, keep on trucking. You're doing great. Thank you as well for the super chat. Christy Smith, aloha from Hilo, Hawaii. Appreciate you. Thank you. And aloha back. And I think there was one more here. Gina HT. How do I preserve cucumbers until I'm ready to can them? Thank you for all you do. That's going to be a little difficult. I'm assuming when you're talking about canning cucumbers, you're talking about pickling them. Okay, because there's not a whole lot other ways to preserve cucumbers than by pickling. You're not going to water bath can or pressure can cucumbers. You can leave them in the fridge for a few days. You guys know how long a cucumber is going to last in the fridge. But honestly, if you're planning on getting a pressure canner full of pickles to make your pickles, you're going to have 8 or 10 cucumber plants to get enough to do it. I'm guessing that's how you're asking about preparing it, because honestly, I don't know any other way to save cucumbers for long-term storage other than to pickle them. Something else came through there. I'm trying to play with the computer. Let's see if I can find it. Well, let's not do it that way. Let's see if we can go. Oh, crap. I'm going to scroll around. There it was. Salty Blank Zero, a gift from a troll. Smartass. Yeah, you're a troll, because I see you on Twitter all the time, too. I do appreciate the sarcasm and the humor, though, guys. Just sometimes the sarcasm is, I got to read it twice before I'm sure it's sarcasm. Then a lot of times I can look at who the commenter is. I'm going, okay, that's somebody being a smartass. I appreciate the sarcasm. It's my favorite kind of humor. All right, let's get into some Q&A here. Ken Harrison says, I'm applauding you. Amen, brother. Thank you. All right. Just, yeah. I think I said everything I needed to say. Lisa, thank you for the super chat. Without you and Mrs. P, we wouldn't have known what was going on. We appreciate the both of you more than you know. Yeah, the latest update on that one, real quick, of what's going on with Prigozhin and Putin and Lukashenko and everything. Here's a shocker for you guys. Lukashenko and Putin lied. Go figure. The latest news this evening was 2 of Prigozhin's planes. One was going to St. Petersburg and one was going to Moscow. Nobody knows that Prigozhin was on either one of the planes. Earlier today, there was one of Prigozhin's planes that flew into Minsk, okay, into Belarus. Nobody knew if he was on the plane. But there was a audio tape leaked where Lukashenko was talking to Putin saying, we could kill him if you want us to, but I don't think that's a good idea right now. Okay. Yeah. So they promised him a whole bunch of stuff, like I was talking about the other day. Now we got to see if they're going to follow through on the promise. Yeah. Never trust Putin as far as you can throw him. What did I tell you guys? I said, Putin holds grudges. Okay? He's not going to forget. He'll go after him. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, maybe 6 months. But I wouldn't be writing a Christmas list if I was Prigozhin. That'd be my guess. Guess. Okay? Again, no crystal ball. Let's see. Snakebite, you're a straight shooter. Pinball, much respect. I'm going to tell you how to cow eat the cabbage, all right? Black and white, that's my life. If you don't like it, don't watch. That's simple as that. Iowa Viking says, I stand with you. Thank you. Garden grower, good beer tonight. Yes. God. Emma Bryan, I feel privileged to be here. No, you shouldn't feel privileged to be here. Everybody's got the opportunity to be here, okay? You don't have a right to be here, but everybody has a chance to be here. It's like anywhere else, you know. If you're an asshole in church, the pastor's going to kick you out too. Okay. You're an asshole at work, the boss is going to fire you. This ain't no different. Jeffrey S., do you think we would all like to can kimchi? If you like cabbage, yeah. Okay. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have asked for Mrs. Kimchi. Yeah, Mrs. P's kimchi recipe. I mean, there's not a lot to it, guys. It's cabbage, it's onions, it's a package. I don't know if she's got it out. Hang on a second. Let me see if she's still got any. Hang on a second. Nope. I think she finished it. It was just a package of kimchi seasoning that we bought at the store, and she mixes it with cabbage and onions and puts it into a mason jar and lets it sit in the fridge for a week or so and kind of ferment a little bit together. That's it. And we had some for dinner. It's just a little bit of fermented cabbage and onions. It's good. Uh, yeah, I mean, nothing exciting. Mima, whoops, 3 times, get him. There you go. Yes, I know. Okie Forge, still here, not sorry. Good. Sean Penrod says, rock on. Thank you. Teresa Ellis, when did I plant my potatoes? Okay, so you're going to ask me. I will go look. Hang on, because I can tell you once I pull up my planner. Do. Oh, that's not it. Okay, hang on. Why doesn't this look right either? Dang. Yeah, now it's... I'll find it. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's it. Okay. And 2023 potatoes. I planted my potatoes April 15th. So they have been in for 2 months and a week. Now we pulled out some early. Now, do you guys remember I planted Pontiac red potatoes? I only dug up a couple of plants. Mrs. P wanted some potatoes for dinner. I got potatoes that are about baseball size. Only dug up a couple of plants. The rest are still going. But my potatoes flowered, oh God, 3 weeks ago. So we knew we were growing spuds. So I knew I was going to have some. Didn't have a bunch. I mean, I had to take out a couple of plants and we got a couple of potatoes for dinner. That was it. Okay. So nothing, it's still too early to pull potatoes. Grow Joyfully Homestead, thank you for the super chat. You are most welcome. Clarity Jane, thank you as well. Steve Snodgrass, why are my tomato plants turning yellow on the bottom? When you're saying on the bottom, you got to remember what any sort of plant is doing. It's trying to grow up. It wants to keep growing up. So all the energy, all the nutrients, the plant is sucking to the top so it can grow more. The bottom leaves are getting the least energy. That is, least energy, least fertilizer, everything. I know it makes no sense because they're closest to the ground, but that's what's going on. You should be pruning your tomatoes by now, at least for me. You should have no leaves on your tomato stems at least 6 inches high from the ground right now. And you'll get up to about a foot by the time you're fruiting tomatoes. So that's to prevent disease and everything like that. If it's just the bottom row of leaves, maybe 2 rows of leaves, cut them off, you're fine. That's all it is. It's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just the tomato's still trying to grow. What it actually could be is you got too much nitrogen at this point of the year. because now you're getting to the point where the plants are starting to fruit. They don't need nitrogen. Now, if you're fertilizing your tomatoes, you need phosphorus and potassium. I don't think I missed anybody else, I hope. Okay. Joni, I appreciate all your honesty. Your advice has helped me and a lot of people. Be yourself. I am going to be myself. I'm not going to, there is no fake pinball. What you see here is the exact same person I am when I'm sitting on my front porch. If you run into me at Walmart or whatever, you're gonna see here the same thing. That's it. Okay. I, I don't have enough energy to try to be more than one person. Let's see. Pighead Water Buffalo. Amen. Say it loud and proud. We pick you 100%. Thank you. Appreciate that. Storm Chasing Gal, we love you, sir. Mrs. P and the doggies. There you go. Doggies, I believe, are upstairs with Mrs. P already. Mrs. P got like 4 hours sleep last night. So we had dinner and she's like, I'm done. That was it. Susan Lathrop, Pinball, sorry you're dealing with this crap. We appreciate all you do. It comes with the territory, but there's some people that are just miserable human beings. And like I said earlier today, I can't stand thieves, but ranking right up there with them as liars. You want to be either one of those. I will have nothing to do with you. You know, I've always made it my point to try to go out of my way to give more than I receive, and I don't care if it's outwork somebody or whatever would be. I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to make sure that any dealing somebody had with me, they always felt treated fairly. You know, I throughout my baseball career, anything like that, yeah, that got me through high school. Okay, so no big deal there. If somebody beat me honestly, I was happy for them. I didn't try to cheat. I didn't do anything like that. If they beat me honestly, congratulations, you beat me. Okay. And I don't care if that's shooting pool, if that's playing darts, if that's doing whatever. If you beat me and you beat me fair and square, I'm happy for you. I'm going to try to beat you, but if I lose, I'm not going to be a crybaby and I'm not going to cheat to beat you. Marianne Bergeron, I'm not going anywhere. Keep doing what you do every day. Very grateful. Thank you. I will. I promise I will keep doing what I do. Mama D's, each one teach one. Don't have to apologize for being a real one. I'm not apologizing. That was not an apology if anybody thought that was. That was a run your mouth, I'll cut your head off. Okay. That's pretty much it. Aqua Drop 61. If you can't vent with friends, then who? We're adults in here. There you go. Prep Rebel, I'm with you all the way, sir. Thank you for speaking your mind. Yes, that doesn't come out of me often, okay? But like I said, you guys remember the John Teller video, okay? Piss me off, I will spit venom, okay? Most of the time, I'm just the nice, happy guy that's going to hang around with you. Piss me off, you have no idea what I'm capable of. Jan Rudd, I appreciate all the hard work you do to give us helpful information. Thank you. Autumn West, you speak my language. There you go. All right, trying to go here. Cushnet, I don't have to apologize. Like I said, it wasn't. Garden Grower, more of us should be like you. Maybe people be better to each other then. If more people sit there and tell somebody wrong answer, Charlie, and I'm going to take care of this, yeah, then maybe people wouldn't try to screw over each other so much. It's like, oh crap, if I try to screw him over, he's going to get me 6 times worse. Yeah, and then all of a sudden they go, you know what? I ain't picking a fight with him. Judy Who, question for the cabbage casserole. Well, okay, it's not the cabbage. It's okay. Do you just bake it when you're ready to eat it? Right? Literally dump the jar out in a bowl, throw it in the microwave. If you want to throw it in a saucepan and heat it up on the stove, go for it. But if you want to put it in the oven, I guess you can. But I mean, if I'm going to eat that, I'm going to warm it up for 2 minutes in the microwave and it's done. It's ready to go. I mean, it's ground beef, tomato sauce, cabbage, onions, again, a lot of this stuff, I try to explain this a little bit, okay? Because, you guys saw when I made the stuffed peppers last year. I'm not trying to win any sort of 5-star awards, how a chef will plate your food so it looks so pretty. I don't give a damn how it looks. I want it to be edible and to fill my belly. If I rolled those cabbages up all nice and neat, put a nice little drizzle of tomato sauce over the top and a dollop of sour cream or whatever it was, and it looked beautiful and tasted like shit, who cares? If I have it like that, it's the same damn ingredients. Trust me, guys, once it goes past your lips, it doesn't look as pretty. Who cares what it looks like on your plate? We're talking about here survival food, okay? We're talking about eating wild rabbit and squirrel and stuff like that. You gonna complain? I mean, honestly, I'm not saying this is a recipe you're gonna get in a restaurant. No, this is a recipe. It's something that you're gonna have as survival food. Or, gee, honey, it's 7:30 at night and we just came out in the house from doing whatever we were doing. I'm exhausted and don't want to cook. What do you want for dinner tonight? Well, we can grab a box of macaroni and cheese and have that, or I can grab a jar off the shelf and have a tasty meal that's got meat and vegetables and flavor and everything like that. I mean, last night for dinner, okay, Mrs. P and I obviously were going nuts all day long. And when we finally sat down and said, that's it, we're done. It's like, okay, what do we want for dinner? She grabbed a jar of ham and beans for herself. I grabbed a jar of chili. Well, she grabbed a jar of chili for me. We had a home cooked, tasty meal that took 5 minutes to put on the plate in front of us, rather than, gee, can I have a bologna sandwich? That's the point of why I do those simple, throw them all in a jar stuff, because they're great fast meals and they're great long term meals. Sword, I'm staying with you. You don't have to be sorry for stupid people. I am not sorry. I'm not at all. Diana Laliberte, my heart is hurting for you. Don't worry about it. It's like, I'm good. Michael Eversberg, no problem. I'll always be here. Give him Hades. Yep. Florida Boy Shuffle, thank you. I didn't know if I saw that before. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I just ran across the super chat. That tells you how far behind I am in these. Linda Bopp, I truly appreciate all that you do for us who believe in you. I feel you're a blessing to us all. No matter what they stay focused. They aren't worth a crap. Exactly. Terry Moorhead, we picked our first ever cucumber tonight. So good. There you go. See, it ain't as hard as you thought. And I will bet the joy in the kitchen was slice that open. And that was the best tasting cucumber you ever had. And you said, however you ate it, if it was just in slices or if you put it on a salad or whatever, I will bet the conversation around the dinner table was, we grew that. I guarantee that was said once. We grew that, or something along those lines. Yes, because there is a big sense of accomplishment. And when you sit down and look at your dinner and go, I grew that. I mean, even today, Mrs. P and I were out picking everything. And I didn't even put a dent in my beets, and I've got a basket full of beets. And she comes out and she goes, yep, no GMO, no chemicals, no nothing, just fresh potatoes. That was it. And that's what you're eating. There's nothing in my food that I don't know is there. Ed Kirkpatrick, all right, Pinball, are you growing any jalapenos this year? Asking for a friend. Yeah, as many as jalapenos that I had last year. I think I've got 6 or 8 plants in. I think I've still got 6. I think a couple of them died. Not much, because when at least for me, when my jalapenos start fruiting, there's 30 jalapenos on each plant. And about the only thing I use my jalapenos for is my chili. I like jalapenos poppers too, but you do those with a few and that's it. Okay, a little cream cheese and some bacon in it, good stuff. But the only thing I use my jalapenos for, last year I planted a 4x8 row of jalapenos, and you guys remember, I've still got dehydrated jalapenos and jalapeno powder, and I don't need that many. I need enough to make my chili. Thrill Hunter, Pinball, 100%. Love you for everything you do. I just don't understand people. It's real sad. I agree. And you know, the ones that do that are the ones that are cowards, the ones that are unprepared, the ones that, you know, the only way they can make themselves feel better is by trying to bring other people down. Each one of you guys watching this, me, we have all put in a ton of work, learned a ton of stuff, put a ton of money, a ton of effort, a ton of time into it. And all these people are like, oh, poor me. I don't have the time, the money. Won't you just give it to me? No. Scroll. I mean, walk down the street. You know, target practice will be nice. You know, chances are most of them are liberals anyway. Healthy disrespect for authority. Did I find a coil source for my vape gear? Grumbles about the vape apocalypse. Actually, funny you mentioned that because I had to actually change out a tank today because I busted the glass in the other one I have, and I didn't have any spare glasses for that one. So fortunately, I've got backup tanks. Okay, so I had to put a new one on. But yeah, there's a good store in Tazewell for those of you guys that are around here and use one of these things. Okay, Papa's Vapor is pretty good. So, but yeah, I can get anything I need there with the exception of nicotine. And I bought a couple of gallons of nicotine a couple of years ago before they couldn't ship it through the mail. So I've probably got enough nicotine to last me 20 years. Freezes. Richard B., what do I think of KLW World News? For some goofy reason, KLW vaguely rings a bell to me, but not enough that I could tell you where it's from, who it is, or anything like that. I think I've heard of it one time before, but it's not. I couldn't even begin to tell you anything about them. I mean, I don't know. Cersei, how much rain can an early garden endure in the Northeast? And getting worried for baby roots. Peace. It depends on how well your soil drains. Okay. I mean, if you've got heavy clay soil like I have here, a lot of rain is not good. This is why, you know, constantly people will be telling you, including myself, mix in compost, mix in organic matter. You're trying to break that up. You want good draining soil. Then you get people in, you know, down south or on the coast or something who have a very sandy soil. And we want to mix in compost to that because that water drains too fast and nothing stays. Now, I can't say I know roughly where you are in Mass, but, and not that I'm going to say on here as close as I know, I'm guessing that you probably have the same soil that I had when I was living in Tingsboro or when I was up in New Hampshire. Is you've got that granite rock soil and somewhat clay. With all the pictures you've sent me of your garden, you've mixed enough compost in there. Your soil should be pretty free draining, so I wouldn't worry about your soil. You know, but I can't tell you, you know, any more than 2 inches and rip up your whole garden. That's, you know, as long as you've got free draining soil, you're good. If it's very clay, for everybody else, if it's very clay, you got to get that fixed because you'll have vegetables rotting and with all the rain that a lot of places are getting right now. Judy Boer, yay mods and pinball. Appreciate all of you. There you go. Voodoo Queen, there you go. I love a good house cleaning. Yeah. Pat B, keep doing what you do. It's very appreciated. Thank you from a very old, not electronic adept. There you go. Heather Bray, did Mrs. P get in touch with her family? It's more friends she's trying to get in touch of. I mean, she's basically got one nephew that's back in Russia. That's her entire family. Okay. But she has not heard anything from her friends or anything. They're still, the war is still going on, and you got to remember what's going on over there. All their communications are being monitored. And so even if Mrs. P does get a hold of somebody, you know, they're in Moscow. So, you know, it's not like there was any sort of firefight or anything like that. I mean, Prigozhin was 125 miles south. He never got close. No, that, you know what I mean. But even if Mrs. P asks a question, hey, how's everything going? The answer she's going to get is, it's fine. They can't say anything because the fear of, oh my God, I'm going to get put in jail if I say the wrong thing. So very, very non-committal with any answer. But no, she hasn't heard anything. And again, these are friends she had. I mean, you got to remember, Mrs. P's been here for almost 8 years. So these are friends that she probably hasn't seen. When did she go back? 2017. So these are friends she hasn't even seen in 6 years. She'll talk to them occasionally. But I mean, it's not like, every weekend or whatever she's on the phone or on Skype or something like that with friends back home. Sabrina Hicks, got tons of green beans and squash. How's my garden? So other things, let's see. My second planting of lima beans all look good. My black beans look great. My green beans that I planted after my garlic, and I know people tell you never plant green beans after garlic. Whatever. Okay, all look good. My first planting of squash is flowering. My second planting of squash, which went in zucchini, my first planting of squash is flowering. My planting of zucchini, which went in after my peas, is got its codlin leaves. So those are looking good. Out of what, 18 plants I put, one didn't come up, so I'll take that. And everything else is just kind of doing its thing. Like I said, we were picking peppers and potatoes and beets, and my corn is about 4 feet high at this point. So yeah, I grew up on knee high by the 4th of July. When it's past my waist and we're not to the 4th of July, that tells me the difference between upper Midwest and Southeast. So yeah, though I don't have any corn like Danny's, it's 12 feet high, but mine's not supposed to get that big. So, Kathleen Maddox, thank you for the recipe today and how to can it. You are most welcome. I know we haven't done enough of those lately, and I was getting together, I was making this yesterday. And in amongst everything else that was going on yesterday, I was also making that video. So just so you have an idea, crazy, and canning. That's why one of the videos was outside on the porch yesterday, because I didn't want to try to talk over the canner. But I'm like, oh my God. And I went back and I looked, and I'm like, I haven't done a food video in 4 months. I was like, holy crap, so I was like, all right, this is a good one to do, because a lot of you guys have asked me, what do I do with my cabbage? And it's like, okay, you got sauerkraut, or you could make kimchi, but kimchi doesn't keep. Here's another way to put it away. So, and I know some of you guys like borscht, some of you guys don't. Okay, there's another way to do cabbage. But yeah, we eat a lot of cabbage around here because it's good for me. Good for all of us, but definitely P. Thank you. I'm canning your recipe with cabbage this weekend. I mean, I knew most of you guys would know what galumpki is, or galuptsi, or galumpki, or it's halushka. It's pronounced many different ways. Made many different ways in many different places. But like I said in the video, that was a poor man's meal in Eastern Europe. Cabbage was easy to grow. It was abundant. And then they fill it with whatever they get. Cabbage is easy to grow. Tomatoes are easy to grow. The elites used pigeons. The poor used whatever they can get. If it was buckwheat, or squirrel, or whatever. There's so many variations that you can, but it's delicious. Oh, and rice in it, of course. So, yeah, don't you love all the people that say you can't can rice? A couple of you made a comment on today's video too, that they're sick of people saying you can't can rice because Campbell's makes chicken and rice soup in a can. Okay, yeah, you can can rice. Just you have to understand it's going to expand a little bit in there, and if you're putting it into something that's got liquid in it, it's gonna be fine. So, Susan Lathrop, canning. You have probably answered this before, but what other soups, meals do you like to can? Susan, go on the homepage and you will see, if you scroll down a little bit, if you click where it says Pinball Preparedness on here, okay, that'll take you to the homepage for the channel. If you scroll down the page a little bit, you will see where it says playlists, and there is a Cooking with Mrs. Pinball playlist, and I think there's about 30 recipes or something like that in there, of all sorts of different recipes she makes, recipes I make, uh, things that, you know, with Mrs. P, obviously it's a lot of soups, because soup is a Russian staple. With me, it was, I made my chili, I've made pulled pork. I don't think I've ever made, maybe I did make my enchiladas. I don't remember, but I think I did. Yeah, I think that was TJ's Chicken Challenge or something like that. I did that one. There's a whole bunch of different recipes in there. Some are dinner tonight recipes, and some of them are canned recipes. But that we've got a whole playlist of recipes. Susan M 1224. Do I think our weapons left behind? I'm assuming that's meaning Afghanistan. $80 billion, Joe, are also in Africa. Oh, I think they're all over the world. I mean, they are. I mean, there was it Sweden or Denmark or something like that, that they were showing up on the black market up there. Really, somebody please explain to me the ties that Sweden or Denmark has with Afghanistan. Don't think they're allies or anything like that, but gee, the weapons that Joe left there suddenly are on their black market. Okay. Yeah, I think those weapons are all over the place. I also think some of those weapons are, maybe about 2 miles across the southern border in Mexican hands. Yeah. Okay. You know, the Chinese have a bunch, the Russians have a bunch, because how do they all come up with their weapon systems? They reverse engineer ours.. That's it. Let's see. Bloodhound Jed 1. Howdy from Texas, where it's 103. Oof. No, thank you. And that's the temperature, not the heat index, right? So was it about 112 heat index? I remember, yeah, no, yeah, and I remember living down in DFW there, and the humidity. I don't remember if we probably hit 100 when I was down there. I was down there for 4 or 5 years, but yeah, oof, no. Reloader, this is the first prepper channel I speak to because subscribe to because you speak the truth. I ain't gonna bullshit you. Okay, could I be wrong on some of my speculations? Yeah, but my speculations are based on my analysis of facts. Anybody tells me they have never been wrong in their life, I would ask them to please come out to my yard and show me how they can walk across my pond. So. All right, we shot to the bottom, and we will figure out where we are again. Billy Pollard, there you go. Best dinner conversation ever. Yeah, we grew this. Yes, exactly. We do this. We still do this all the time. It was like tonight on our plate was the kimchi, which was our cabbage. It was the potatoes, which was we had liver and beef liver and mashed potatoes. Yes, I like that stuff. Okay. No, we didn't grow the cow for the liver, but the mashed potatoes were ours, and the cabbage and the onions and the kimchi were ours. The only thing we didn't even buy at the store. It's like we got that with the side of beef because you buy the side of beef, nobody wants the tongue, nobody wants the liver. I'm like, damn, those are two good pieces of meat and extra meals. It's like you're gonna throw it out. It's like, give me everything that everybody else doesn't want. Yeah, but we still do that all the time. It's like, okay, what's on our plate that we grew? Pighead Water Buffalo. Hobie said you would be perfect if you were a paratrooper and ate okra. Since all this respect. Well, bird shit, broken airplanes, and fools, right? Yeah, no, sorry. I'm not jumping out of planes, and I'm not going 12,500 feet underwater. Okay, neither one of them was man meant to do. If he was, we would have been given gills or wings. That's it. Okay, and the okra part, hey. Give me a break. Okra to me is like spam to Jason. How about that? Okay. And please don't anybody send me any okra in the mail. Oh, and I'll bring this up real quick. Guys, please don't anybody send me any plants in the mail or anything. Somebody had sent me some mullein from Washington State. And I understand you guys are trying to be kind and helpful. Mullein is invasive in Tennessee, and so we're not supposed to plant it at all. And I feel real bad because she had shipped this to me and then emailed me, and I'm like, I can't do anything with it. I had to throw it out. So as much as I appreciate it, guys, don't send me any live plants or anything like that because I don't know if I've got the right conditions or anything or if I can plant it at all. So, but thank you for that anyway. I know your heart was in the right place. I feel bad that I can't do anything with it. GC, I have 4 leaves on my squash for the third time. Rabbits. Yeah, that would be my guess. Take some, I'm going to guess it's rabbits or it's some sort of 4-legged pest. Uh, get some cayenne pepper and sprinkle it on the leaves of the squash. Get the leaves a little wet or something. Right after the morning dew is perfect for this. Sprinkle some cayenne pepper on there and then just let it dry in there. You'll have to do that every time it rains, but if it sticks on there, it's not going to affect your squash. You're not eating the leaves. But yeah, rabbits and cayenne pepper, or anything like that, they won't be back. Paw Prepper, hey, Mrs. and Mr. P, keep kicking ass. Is your sauerkraut recipe online? I believe it's there. Let me look. I think it's in there. I can look at the playlist real quick. If I can find it. Content, playlists, and cooking with Mrs. Pinball, and chili, board stroganoff, fish soup, cream of chicken soup, zucchini bread, sauerkraut. Yes, my sauerkraut recipe is there. Okay, so let's go on. Pokey Ranch wife. Oh my God, I love dark mode pinball. No, you wouldn't. Though there is one. Okay, just you know, I can be your best friend. I can be your worst enemy. That's just my makeup. Sarah say, hi Pinball, what type of equipment for off-grid fire starting? Thinking ferro rod, charcoal. Oh my God, there's a million and one things you could do. I mean, like you said, ferro rod, charcoal cloth. If you know how to make a bow drill, I showed you how to make a solar reflector or whatever it was out of a satellite dish. You could get Fresnel lenses, a magnifying glass. I mean, there's as many as you can figure out how to use. Find one more. Okay, the more ways you can learn to make fire, you're gonna be better. Because as great as that little satellite dish thing I showed you with, if I get a bug out, I'm not carrying that with me. Okay, but a Fresnel lens, I can fit that in a credit card slot in my wallet, and that works. So, many different ways to look at making fire. Learn as many as you can. Learning how to do a bow drill is not easy. Rubbing 2 sticks together practically. Okay, it's just a little more efficient. You can find the stick if you can find the correct ones. You got a shoelace, chances are you got everything you need. Learning how to do it, learning how to identify your woods so you can do it is going to be important. Von Mousetrap, what's going on with the electroculture? Okay, so like I said, we walked through the garden. I can't, my plants are not bigger. I will tell you that right now. Remember the 2 I put right next to the tomatoes? Okay, or the 2 smallest tomatoes, where they were right now. They are still the smallest tomatoes. They are about 3 feet high. The one next to it is over 6 feet high. Okay. The 2 that are 3 feet high have tomatoes on it. Okay. So some on down the line that don't have it are 4 feet high and don't have tomatoes. So maybe, I mean, I'm not sold going, oh my God, this is great. And I'm not dissing this altogether. Maybe it improves the yield. I'm not going to know until harvest time. If I get more fruit out of the plants that are near them, that's what I'm growing for anyway. You've heard me say a million times, I could care less if my plants are pretty. What I really care about is if my plants produce food. As long as they do that, if I can figure out a way to make them produce more, I'm all for it. I'm still waiting on it. Okay, I can't say yay or nay yet. Linda Bop, I've been scared to can anything with rice. After your video, I call it cabbage casserole. I'm going to can it too. It, it, like I said, Campbell's makes chicken and rice soup. That should tell you everything that you need to know. They also said, what was it? The other one they said, don't can zucchini. Zucchini doesn't can and last for long. It'll last 6, 8 months. Okay, I made some zucchini pickles a year and a half ago. I threw some out because they were just getting, they looked like they were getting bad. So, uh, but fox running through the yard. There you go. It's still light enough. I look out the window, I see something going. It's like, that's not a dog, it's a fox. Okay. Yarn prepper. If we can prep on one income on 1/5 of a city acre, anyone can. Excuses are like assholes. Everyone has. There you go. I mean, you're one income. I'm going to take a guess here that this one income isn't Jeff Bezos here. Okay, but if you're living in the city on one income on 1/5 of an acre, which is going to be twice the size of my Vegas house. So I can get a good idea, or my Vegas property. I can get an idea of how much land you got. Yeah, you could still have decent sized gardens and everything like that in there. You're not going to go. I mean, you're not going to go out and have a football game in the backyard or something, but you never were in the first place. So yeah, I mean, if you can do that, why can't anybody else? Thank you for saying that, because excuses are like assholes. And assholes usually have excuses. So, let's see. Garden grower, what kind of vape thing do I use? I want to quit smoking and flavor. I know nothing. I use it's called Geek Vape. I don't know what the deal is. It's a two batteries in it. Hopefully I put that in right. Yeah. And then the tanks, there's a boatload of different tanks that you can pick out or anything like that. The thing will cost you about $100. And I'm like, oh my God, it's $100. And so is a carton of cigarettes. Okay. This will last me more than a week. And then I make my own juice. The reason I've done videos on how to make your own juice. If you want to go look in there too, it's under the DIY playlist. Because a bottle of juice will cost 4-ounce bottle of juice costs you $15-20. What's the point? I can make a 4-ounce bottle of juice for about 75 cents. So, yeah, tell about you. And if you've got questions on recipes or anything like that, I talked about it in that video, but there's a website called e-liquid-recipes.com. There's, I kid you not, millions of recipes on there that you can put. You like fruity, you like nutty, you like candy flavors, whatever would be. You go through there and have a field day with it. Okay, but if you go to that website, you'll find everything you need, from where to buy stuff online to do whatever. Let's see. Izzy Davis, evening. Tried to grow beets and they're not doing well. Got some peppers, but praying over the rest. I love you, Mrs. P. If your beets aren't, my guess on your beets is one of two things. Either your soil is too hard, okay, in other words, again, not enough compost in it or anything like that, or you planted the seeds too deep. Beets grow like onions. They grow pretty much almost on the surface. About half of it's going to be above, half of it's going to be below, like an onion grows. It needs to have softer soil so the beet can expand. If it's in clay, it doesn't do anything. It won't grow. The only other thing I can think of is you planted them too deep, because beets are almost a set it and forget it. Put the seeds in, have them watered, and you're done. And I mean, I was getting beets today that were, almost baseball size. Sarah said, yes, accurate on soil, rocky clay, but a good mix. It's not puddling. Yeah, so then you should be fine from your question earlier there. You've got draining. You're draining fine. Susan Musser, share the kimchi recipe. I talked about that at the top. There isn't a kimchi recipe. It's just basically buying a kimchi spice pack at the store. Pretty simple there. The hard part is just chopping up all the vegetables. It's me. I'm back. What gas mask would you recommend? What the hell was the name of go to Mira Safety, Mira, and go in there. You can either get the uh, single lens, like a motorcycle helmet all the way around, or you can get the double lens. Uh, Either way, but those are by far the best masks on the market. I've got two of them, and they are awesome. Not that I fortunately haven't had to use them, but they seal up very nice. No problem. You can test that real quick on how they seal. The spare canisters, just screw on the side, aren't that expensive. Get a couple of those. You'll need them. But that's what I've got. And then I've also got the chem suits and the gloves and everything like that too, in case we have a fallout situation. Those are not that expensive, but Mira Safety is where I would suggest going. Boy, that's a topic that hasn't come up in a long time. I was like, all right, let's remember that name quickly. A Cushnet Prepper. Hey, Pinball, how's the ham radio course doing? I'm through 9 chapters. I think there's 17, so I'm about halfway through. But I do it. I do a little bit here and a little bit there, and then the way I do it is okay. I'm up to 9, but when I go back to do it the next time, I will go to lesson 1 and I will take a quiz again and see if I can do the quiz well. If I can't pass the quiz, then I watch the lesson all over again. And until I can pass all the quizzes, I don't move to the next chapter. So, but I don't do that I do that after each setting, because I'll sit down and do 3 or 4 chapters. But then I'll wait 3 or 4 days, because this is me, okay? I don't want to pass the test. I want to learn something. I mean, I could go watch a video. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. How to pass the ham radio course test in 24 hours. That's great. You pass the test, you get your license, and the very first thing you do is screw up. Okay? No, I want to pass the test because I know the material, not because I just passed the test. That's just me. Holy crap, it's 8:57. Man, we fly through these things sometimes. Okay, we just asked the same question. Tony, 7487 48A type of gas mask. Like I said, go to Mirror Safety. A Statine 85, I should put my translations into a paid subscription page. I know. That's the thing. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do locals. I don't want to do Patreon or anything like that. Yeah, okay. By doing that, you keep the trolls out, okay? But by doing that, then you guys have to pay money that I'd rather have you spend on your preps. At least here, okay, you got to sit through a couple of commercials, but nobody's got to whip out the wallet and go here, okay? I don't want anybody doing that. I appreciate when you guys donate to the channel. We kick that back into the Christmas fund, have some fun at Christmas time, give away some prizes, things like that. That's fun, okay? That I enjoy. That's all of us sharing and working together as a family. But charging you guys to watch me, that just ain't happening. The only way that will happen is if every other one of the YouTubes and any of, if there are any good ones out there. By the way, I still haven't got paid for the $53 that Rumble owes me. If there's ever any, if all the free ones go away, that's going to be the only way to do it. So, and I think that will be, hopefully that will never happen. Who's your daddy? We used to call Golumke pigs in a blanket. I heard that from a few of you guys. Some of you guys, I think it was up in Pennsylvania, said they called them pigeons. Now you know why they call them pigeons. But yeah, pigs in a blanket. What I know as pigs in a blanket is breakfast sausage wrapped in a pancake. All depends on where you're from. Okay. Let's see. Gene Blair, Capusta. I don't know what that means. Healthy disrespect for authority. Does Mrs. P make Russian black bread pumpernickel? She likes to eat it, but she's not the baker. Actually, if the few times that any bread's been baked around here, it's usually me. So yes, I get the kitchen, guys, believe it or not. But what when we do get some black bread or some pumpernickel or something, I will make kvass out of it. So making homemade kvass, because it's expensive. When I mean, if you guys don't know what kvass is, it's a Russian soda. It's a it's a you know it's kind of like fermented bread soda. It's actually really good. Uh, it almost has somewhat of almost a little bit of a beer taste to it, but there's no alcohol in it or anything like that. It's hard to explain what it's like. But it's with raisins and bread is how you make it, and then it's kind of uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not distilled, but brewed uh, up that way. It's good. So, but it's expensive. It's like $4 a 2 liter, and I can make it myself. So, last one. Bear. Haven't got to watch the whole video, but what did you end up cooking with the rabbit? Nothing. We just put him on the fire and picked up a couple of pieces. I had some. My buddy had some, and the dogs got some, and that was it. We just ate it as a snack. So, all right, guys, 9 o'clock. I don't want to bug into Jason's time tonight. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening to me vent for a little bit there. Have a good evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Pinball out.